Before you go ahead and make some amazing barbecue on your pit barrel cooker, you're gonna have to know how to get it lit. And today I'm gonna show you 2 different ways that we can get this done. Now I love my pit barrel cooker. I have actually owned 2. I've owned their junior model and I have the classic model now. The junior was the first smoker I ever had, and I learned to cook barbecue on that thing, and it is one of the best smokers out there, and I highly suggest it for anyone trying to get into smoking. It is awesome for learning fire management, but it is still easy enough to be a set it and forget it style of smoker. Now these pellet smokers that are out there today, they're just too easy. I know, I got one over there now. They have their time and place. They're very convenient. But if you are wanting to learn fire management and how to make some delicious barbecue, I highly suggest a pit barrel cooker. I've cooked so many delicious meats on my pit barrel cooker, and if you are a subscriber of my channel, I am sure you have seen a lot of those videos. Now for the pit barrel cooker, there's really 2 ways to get them started, and it is going to use 2 different types of charcoal. Now the first way is going to be using the Kingsford Blue Bag charcoal style briquettes. This is the way that pit barrel cooker actually tells you to start their pit barrels up. Now the other option is some lump charcoal. Now with the briquettes, you will get a nice controlled temperature in your pit barrel cooker, but your temperatures are going to be a little lower than if you use the lump charcoal. Now when you use the lump charcoal, you can get some temperature spikes, but the flavor you get from the lump charcoal I actually like a little bit better, and I think with the pit barrel cooker, sometimes it can use a little extra heat, as long as you're watching it and you make sure it doesn't get out of hand. Now if you take your lid off and you leave it off on the pit barrel cooker with some lump charcoal, it can get hot pretty fast. But that being said, now we're going to start with method number 1, the pit barrel cooker way, using that Kingsford briquettes. So when I'm doing this, I always like to get a nice pair of welding gloves. These are fantastic. These are Grill Armor gloves. If you're interested in these, I will put a link down in the description, and I got a code down there where you can get 10% off your order, so be sure to check that out. All right, so now we got our basket here. You can see this one is well used. Now get your bag of briquettes, go ahead and fill this basket up. All right, now once you have it filled up, you're gonna wanna get yourself a chimney starter here, and this is actually a pit barrel chimney starter. You can see it's a little shorter than a normal chimney starter. That's because it'll fit down nicely into the pit barrel cooker. So now you just wanna take some of these briquettes out of here and put them into your fire starter. Like I said, this is the exact method that pit barrel tells you to do. Now I'm not gonna fill the chimney up. I just want to get enough in there so it'll start pretty quick. You can see right there, filled up maybe 3/4 of the way. Now we can get this out of here, now that it made a nice mess on the table. Now all we got to do is get these started up, and then we'll be ready to add them to our basket. So it's pretty simple to do the pit barrel cooker method of starting. Once that chimney of charcoal gets nice and hot, just go ahead, dump it on top of the other coals, and then if you want, throw in a wood chunk and you're ready to go. Now the pit barrel cooker actually doesn't even mention using wood chunks, so if you don't want to use wood, you don't have to. You can just go right ahead with the briquettes. It's going to be a perfectly controlled smoke. You're going to have a nice temperature throughout your cook. Now like I said, this is not my favorite method for starting the pit barrel cooker, so I'm going to go ahead and show you my favorite method for getting one started. So first we got to get our lump charcoal opened up. Let's see if I can crack the code on this. No. Oh, look at that. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's always so satisfying when you get that off, right? So let's get that charcoal basket back. Then same thing. Just gonna go ahead, fill this up with some lump charcoal. Now just watch out for any little plastic pieces that come out. And you can see how there's all different sizes of charcoal in here. You got some big chunks, you got a bunch of little pieces. So now what I like to do is just settle everything in so there's not too much air gaps. And we might have to pull a few pieces out of here just to get some room. Now you can get some wood chunks, throw them right in here. I like using hickory just because it's readily available usually, and it has a nice flavor to it. A little more mild, but still enough smoke flavor that your food's gonna taste delicious. So I like getting those chunks buried into here like so, kind of even everything out. All right, now get yourself a couple of fire starters, something like this right here. I get these on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to check them out. I usually buy it in a large box. It's the cheapest way. And these fire starters seem to work the best for me. So go ahead, open up a few spots where you can tuck these fire starters in. And I like to use 2, so it starts from both sides here. I kind of like to put one on each end, just like that. Now all we got to do is just get these things started. Now we are ready to get this right into the pit barrel, and this is why you're going to want some gloves like this. All right, so there you have it. 2 super simple ways to start up your pit barrel cooker, and it's gonna give you 2 options, which is great. Because if you're a beginner with the pit barrel cooker, which I'm assuming you are because you're watching this video, I would highly suggest to use the briquette method like Pit Barrel Cooker says. It's just gonna be a lot easier for you to get started on the pit barrel cooker. Plus, if you're new to this, you don't wanna do anything that's gonna make you discouraged, which using lump charcoal sometimes can get a little out of hand if you're not really sure what you're doing. So that's why I highly suggest learning the basics of the pit barrel cooker. That's why I highly suggest learning the basics of the pit barrel cooker before you go ahead and move on to the lump charcoal. The briquettes, like I said, easy to do. You'll have great results with them, trust me, and you can even go ahead and just throw a wood chunk in there and that'll be good. Now once you do learn the basics of the pit barrel cooker, definitely go with the lump charcoal. You're gonna have a little bit better flavor, and you're gonna get a little faster cooking times out of something like a pork butt because it's such a large piece of meat, and the pork butt can take the extra heat of the lump charcoal. Now that you know how to start the pit barrel cooker up properly, you're gonna need something to cook. So I'm gonna leave my playlist of pit barrel cooker recipes right over here. Be sure to look through them. There are some amazing recipes on there. If you are new to this, I highly suggest a pork loin. Super simple, quick, delicious, easy to test out your pit barrel cooker. But most importantly, guys, get out there, smoke something good.